Okay, one of the things that you will need to understand, and I want you to be able to do well, is to calculate a seller's and a buyer's net sheet. And we have this really amazing tool, if you are a member of the National Association of Realtors, called RPR, Realtors Property Resource. And they have the ability for you to create a seller's net sheet or a buyer's worksheet, proceeds sheet, right from inside RPR. So I'm going to show you how to use this. Now, if you're not a member of NAR, some of you may not be who are watching this, you can still find templates or create your own Excel spreadsheet. In fact, many people who have the ability to use RPR like to create their own seller net sheets in their own template. So feel free to use whatever format you want. I just want to show you the ability of using an electronic spreadsheet within your listing presentation, within your comparable research or competitive market analysis. So let's take a look at this. I think you're going to find this a very interesting tool. And one of the items here, I pulled up a property in RPR, and if I scroll over to the down and over to the right, you can see a seller's proceeds sheet right here. If we open this up, I've actually gone in and done some calculations for you with the proceeds sheet. And what I love about RPR's seller's net or buyer's net sheet is the fact that you can actually do a high and a low, so you can do two different scenarios. A lot of times your client will want to know, well, what if I sell it at this price? How much will I net? Or how much will I net if I sell it at a higher price? In fact, there have been times in my career when I've had sellers say, absolutely no way can I accept that price. However, when I actually go through the seller's net sheet and show them how much they will net, the whole story changes for them, and they are under the impression that they were going to net less money. And so when I go through the net sheet with them, sometimes I've had offers accepted that they wanted to totally reject from the get-go. So you can do a low and a high. We've thrown our numbers in here. You want to try to get an approximation of their loan payoff. We can add our commission rate. We understand and know that commissions are negotiable. I've added some other numbers in here. Now with RPR, they actually do not have the ability for you to add in accrued interest or taxes from January 1st until the day of closing, some other items that we've looked at. So I just put those under the other format here and rounded those up. You would want to be sure and explain those to your client or your customer and let them know that I'm projecting your taxes to be this amount, plus you might have some accrued interest. Again, I want you to be different than the average sales agent out there and really go that extra step. When you go through your numbers here, your clients and customers will appreciate you taking those extra steps and really honing in on what you project them to either net as a seller or bring to the table as a buyer. Now with buyers, we understand many of your lenders will provide that, but sometimes you have a cash transaction, and so you may need to do a buyer's net sheet as well. Here's one word of caution that I would encourage you. Always figure a little bit more, okay? For example, if you think title insurance is $300, I would figure $500. Now, why am I always figuring more for a closing sheet? Well, first and foremost, when we get to the day of closing or the day before and I'm going over the closing statement with them, if I've told them they're going to net $14,000 and their net is $15,000 or $14,950, they're thrilled. But if their net's $13,910, if it's just a few dollars less than what you told them, they're going to take it out on you. Trust me, I've been doing this long enough to know that it's my fault. So I've always just tried to figure everything higher than what I anticipate and everybody's always thrilled because the buyer says, gosh, we thought we were going to have to bring more money to that than to the closing. Or the seller's thinking, hey, I'm coming out with an extra $200. This is awesome. So figure higher and you'll always be safe and in good shape, okay? But figure a seller's net sheet, include it with your listing packet. We're going to go through some listing presentation information as we move through some of the courses that are available through Global Real Estate School, but I think it's important for you to let your sellers and your buyers know what you're projecting they need for closing. And one final thought, this is great for you to have. So going back over to the board, if I've told my seller that at $300,000, you're going to net approximately $11,585. Well, if you get to the closing table and they say, well, you told us we were going to net 16,000 or some other weird number, you have proof and you have a backup to say, hey, this is what I provided you. And so always keep track, keep good correspondence. This is good for you to go over. It will alleviate a lot of headaches and problems. Well, that concludes this video. You can continue on with the course by hitting the continue button from below.